6:43 on this Tuesday, and yes, today all eyes on New Hampshire for the nation's first primary of the presidential election. And here to discuss, CBS 8 political analyst Wendy Patrick. Wendy, thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate your time. Okay, let's talk about Dixville's Notch, New Hampshire, a place many of you have probably never heard of. But yes, they cast their ballots at midnight. This is like a tradition for them, Wendy. Right. 6 people voted, and yes, all 6 of those votes went to Nikki Haley. Is this enough momentum, Wendy, for Nikki Haley?
Swept those 6 votes very clean. That was a clean sweep, as we say.
Right.
They stayed up till midnight. They celebrated that, as they often do. But that not only is that city not representative of the state's not representative of the nation.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that distinguishes, you know, the excitement that we have. And justifiably so. We're just starting the political season.
Yeah.
But New Hampshire is not representative. It's not representative demographically, politically. It's exciting because we all know that momentum translates into math.
Sure.
Nikki Haley finds it significant because she's trying to at least get enough votes to justify remaining in the race and then going on to South Carolina. But I have to say, if the polls are any indication, you have to admit there's some indication she doesn't have a shot at winning the state.
Okay, well, this is an open primary, so undeclared voters, about 40% of the state, can vote in either the Democratic or Republican primary. Is that important for Nikki Haley as far as getting those more independent, middle-leaning voters?
Well, it's important for her, but it's also important for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know, we are seeing a new kind of blue wave. You know how Donald Trump tags himself as the blue-collar billionaire?
Sure.
The working class has come out and basically answered the question, are you better off today, with a resounding no. A lot of them have said, you know, we don't have the kind of money we had back 4 years ago under the Trump administration. We don't have the opportunities we had back then. I mean, if you just look at gas and groceries, national security, inflation, some of the kitchen table issues, Nikki Haley doesn't have the same momentum as the former president does, at least for that swath of voters who, as you mentioned, are able to come out and vote in this primary.
Look, you mentioned the polls, and the last couple presidential elections, when it comes to polls, I just kind of like to wait at this point. But how slim of a lead does Trump have to have over Haley coming out of New Hampshire for it to actually look good for Haley? If Trump does become victorious here, how many points does he need to be up for it actually to look good for Haley? As
many as possible in terms of Haley being able to infringe upon that lead.
Okay.
She needs as many votes as she can. However, even if she does have a lot of votes in New Hampshire, you know, I mean, she's endorsed by the governor, even if she does well, that doesn't necessarily mean she has anywhere near the kind of momentum that she would need to pull this thing off.
Gotcha.
And that is leading, and we saw this over the weekend in grand fashion, some voters to legitimately ask, why are you still in this race? You don't want to hold it against her in 2028 when maybe, as some people say, she and Ron DeSantis are going to be ripe for the picking. They are going to be in the race. One of the two of them may be endorsed by the former president at that point. So she really has to think long and hard. But I have to say, as of this morning's interviews, she says she already has, and she's staying in the race. She's not going anywhere.
All right. Well,
so we'll be sitting here talking the same conversation about South Carolina.
Yeah, no delegates at stake for Biden here because they're all eyes on South Carolina for the Democrats. So we'll have to have you back here. Wendy, appreciate your insight here.
Thanks, Eric.
Anna, let's send it over to you.